This little thing I guess that's just the way that it is. And sometimes things just are the way that they are. And we have to make peace with that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Full Circus. My name is Tristan. So happy to be here with you today. I've noticed a recurring pattern in editing the show that for whatever reason, not for whatever reason, it is clearly a technological error on my part. It is a user fault that the autofocus seems to grab onto the computer or the mic at times, and it gets a little bit blurry here. Okay, so don't adjust your television sets, don't adjust your eyes, just give it some time, because I don't know what I'm doing, and we'll get around to it at some point. But for the meantime, huzzah, things roll on. So guys, what is going on in the world? I mean, there's plenty, I'm sure. I'm not exactly plugged in at the moment, but in my life, in my world, since I last saw you, I have been redrafted into the work scene with my father. He needed some help, and he asked me about it. And I said, perchance, maybe, probably. He said, take care of your stuff first, right? I don't want to put you out. I don't want to make your life more difficult than it needs to be. And I said, Father, I'll be there. Everything will be great, grand, perfect. Is it? Absolutely not. But I rise to the occasion, golden child standards, and I get up there and I take care of business, and then I still manage to get my stuff done. Not in the prettiest of fashion, but I do manage to do it. And then he gets mad at me, and so does my mom, and say, don't do that anymore. It's not your job. Just take it, stay in your own lane. I go, hey, it's the way I was raised, all right? That's your fault, okay? I was taught that you take care of family when they need you, when they're in dire consequence. They go, no, we're fine. I say, well, it's too late. You shouldn't have asked. You put up the golden child signal in the sky, and da-da-da-da. I shone, okay? So we're taking care of business as such. Is it fun? Yeah, of course. I like being with my family. And is it egotistical because they're basically me? I don't think so. I love them, all right? And I love to be around them. And it's just a good, great time. However, the work isn't always the most exciting. I got there and very quickly realized why he was, so like halfway adamant. He's like, just take care of your stuff, but are you available? I was like, oh, I'm doing it. I can make it happen. He's like, just don't worry about it. But you're going to be here soon, So we were kind of going back and forth. And I realized that they were against the clock. So I was doing everything I could to get there, and then found out the jobs that they had in store for me were the ones that nobody wanted to do, and including carrying just several appliances. And I don't mind that. I like the carrying aspect where I can just show off how reckless I am. Dude, I drop so many things all the time, and that's what I hate. It's because I'm fine ruining my own stuff, but when it's other people's, like thousands upon $1,000, like these refrigerators and dryers and washing machines and whatnot, like it's a dangerous game. And not only is the appliance itself expensive, but all the work that they just did, hours and hours of painting and mudding and grafting and trimming and cutting, and all of it goes into this thing. And I'm like, well, now I got this. I'm holding someone's wallet, basically, knocking up the wall. Hey, you guys want to fix that? You happy I'm here? Who's running the party? So I got moved off that duty, and they put me onto caulking. Dude, look, nobody likes caulking, all right? It's one of the worst jobs out there, and I have a specific hatred for it, okay? And I don't even know how to explain it. It's like my brain gets so overdramatic the second they're like, hey, you're going to be on a caulking duty. And I knew there was a lot to do. When he first brought up the project, he's like, yeah, there's several thousand feet worth of caulk to do. I was like, oh, I'd rather die. And then, sure enough, weeks or months later, it did come full back around that I accidentally volunteered to do such a job. But yeah, I'm just sitting there just in the zone and just thinking, it's like, man, I want to run away from home. I want to shave my head. I'm going to throw up. Like, I'm so mad and sad, and I'm putting in headphones trying to get in the zone. And they think I'm listening to music. I'm listening to like therapeutic, podcasts and poetry to try and calm me down, center my chakras, my chi, and go, it's just caulk. It's just talk. It's going to be fine. But it's tough. It's tough, dude. I hate it. I despise it. And the problem is, dude, when I go and work for my dad, he has all these crappy jobs, and they're hard, and they're difficult, and I don't like them, and he knows that, but he treats me like a kid. And he goes, well, I'm just saying, yeah, it sucks, but I could probably do it in about 45 minutes, I'm just saying. And I go, Dad, and it works on me because I'm a kid, and I'm like, haha, beat you, freaking 43 minutes, whoa, and he's like, it's pretty good, well, let's do it again. I'm like, I know what you're doing, I see the strings, but I can't help it. I'm addicted to a challenge, and then they're like, well, you're really good at this, and I go, maybe I should, I'm just stupid, I think, is the problem with it. So not only do I ignorantly rise to the occasion and put myself into a difficult position, but then I take on the challenges that I've very obviously and clearly stated that I hate, and then I get manipulated into doing more of them. How is this a win for me? Answer, it's not. Rest assured, I will keep doing more of them. But in the meantime, this whole house is almost done. There was some sort of inspection. It's coming down to the wire. So this should be the last week of like rushedness where I'm working 2 jobs and I go back and forth from doing all my additions, all my work, and I'm going, because what I wanted to do was just like almost bulk record multiple podcasts, okay, of this and just kind of get everything, shifted, like the camera settings, like this freaking light, different decorations, adjustments. Like there's a lot of little tweaks and things I want to do, but when you run out of time, you end up just doing it as is, which is fine. All right, it's fun. We love it. We laugh, don't we? But there's little things that you can do to make it better. Like I mentioned in the last episode, I'm almost inspired. And I want to get to that point where I can let that inspiration come to fruition. There is something in my eye, but I would like to just probably do 3 or 4 episodes, just have them in the bank, and then spend the weeks, whatever, in free time and kind of catch up. And then unveil, wave, curtains, undrawn, whatever it says, okay? Peep into the house of excitement and see what sort of changes we make. Or I just bulk record them and I don't do anything to the podcast, but I come back absolutely yoked. Maybe hop on some steroids and you're like, rickety so, yeah, dude, I gotta get bigger. I think about it, man. I always think about just doing, well, not even just getting in shape, but maybe just like working out right before the podcast starts. So you get a nice bump and we'll go, whoa, things are changing. You're like, I know, I'm not even flexing. But it's cool, man. It's cool. Just carrying stuff, helping people out. And that's part of life. So it is fun. It's hard to eat right. I've been doing my best, man. I won't lie. I've had a little bit of sugar. I did get rid of the potatoes, if you can see from the treasure chest in the last episode. Guys, trust me, there's no potatoes in here. But there's also no candy, and that's not because I ate them all, but they are safely tucked away. I've had a little bit of it, but it's safely tucked away. I'm doing pretty good. But at the job site, for whatever reason, they constantly bring just a plethora, a tray, an infinite amount of different cookies, varieties, and donuts, and pastries, and pizza. There's no just real food. No one just like brings a sandwich, okay? There's no just fast-acting carbs. There's no carrots. There's nothing that's like, hey, you guys are working 12 hours a day. Here's some sustenance. But I tell you what, a donut, it hits for like the first 15 minutes. A donut makes you feel like you're on cloud 9, and then cloud 8, cloud 7, cloud 6, and then the rest of the day is just a pile of diarrhea. Dude, speaking of diarrhea, and I don't know if I've gone into great details with this, and I don't know if I should, but hey, this is part of the podcast, okay? Full transparency, full vulnerability. Okay, everybody wants to have this vulnerable closeness until it's time for me to share with you a story where I had 50 fruit snacks in the span of a day, and then I tell you that I had diarrhea, but I was at the work site and the toilets weren't up yet, so I had to go in the porta potty and my phone was dead and I was stuck in there, and it was like I was fighting Satan in a telephone booth, and I'm just kind of holding on and trying to fortify my mind and lock in, and it's 94 degrees out and there's no air conditioning there, and everyone else has gone to the bathroom in that place, and the smell is just fumating and rotating and road engine, in other words, that I'm not even saying stuff, but it was one of the worst experiences of my life. life. And just wanted to share that with you guys because it's, it happened. It was real, okay? And that's me, dude. I'm real. Also, what sucks, and big gripe here. Now, I'm not going to act like I'm the only one who doesn't like road work, okay? And sometimes you feel like that. You ever get in traffic, you're like, oh, man, you're stuck in lines and lines. I hate it, dude. I hate being I'm so impatient. I can't deal with stuff like this. And then you start thinking, it's like, well, surely this other guy, you're fine, right? You're cool with this. And he's like, I'm going to kill myself. He's bummed out. And that was a bit dark. Sorry, but keep moving. I always check myself pretty quick, and I don't know if I should. I think I'm just gonna start. This is a new era for me. I'm gonna start letting things ride. Once I say something dark, and I apologize. Like, I am gonna make more suicide jokes, but I shouldn't. Oh, but I just checked myself again. Gosh dang it! It's the heart of gold he has. This is my white shirt, by the way, that I got chocolate all over. I don't know if you can see. It's been washed a couple times, but there's a variety of different stains. It's on my back as well. I was eating a drumstick and I told myself, change your clothes. You don't want to get chocolate all over this thing. And I said, you're 26 years old. All right. You can eat an ice cream cone once and you can go 3 minutes without dropping chocolate on yourself. And I'll eat it like this too. Kind of like lean over out of the way. I don't know if there was a gust of wind, or if I just started doing the Macarena or something, and I just started folding chocolate into every crevice of my shirt, but I ended up covered in it. I was so disappointed. I just got the shirt, and, now there's a lot of chocolate on it. And I'm trying to change that, man. I'm trying to change that. Speaking of which, dude, and this is a big deal. It really is. I have made the change to stop eating in my bed. All right, that's a big deal for me. I mean, not entirely, like I'm still having protein shakes and yogurt and cottage cheese in there, but stuff that like crunches and sugary things, because I get it all over. I was talking to a buddy of mine, my best friend, Drew. I've talked about him all the time in the show. But I was talking to him and I was like, man, I swear every time I have sugar, I kind of just like break out on my shoulders. And it's not what you're thinking. I've come to the conclusion. It's that I'm always eating in bed and I'm just dropping Pop-Tart shrapnel everywhere and I'm rolling around it and I'm breaking out my shoulders. And he's like, that's actually exactly what I thought, because it's, I've seen the way you eat. It's like like a wood mill, okay? A wood chipper with food. And I don't know if that's the experience for everybody else. I would like to check. I've never really paid attention to the crumbs in anyone else's. I do notice more often than not that when I'm eating with somebody, my, space is always a bit messier than them. But I don't know if it's just because I'm more free and I'm more passionate, or because I'm a klutz or I'm clumsy. But it is bumming me out a little bit. But I've made the change. I've made the twist. And it took me a long time to do that. I think I almost wanted it to happen. It's like I wanted to get caught. I wanted to make a mess. Like a serial killer. He's like leaving little trails. I'm like, hey, look at all the food I'm having. Maybe that's what it is I want to leave a trail. I want people to go, man, this guy's, he's living right. He's eating good. He is living completely free as you can. But to circle back, what was I talking about? Traffic. That's right, dude. It is astronomically bad. The job site is like 25 minutes away, and it takes me an hour plus. Okay, plus what? I don't know. It varies. But it takes me a freaking while to get there. And I'm not a patient person by any stretch of the means. It's one of the reasons I hate caulking, for one. But, dude, I can't. I guess it's just doing it. It's just going to do its thing. I'm not a patient person, but with driving, normally I understand the dangers and the reality of operating a vehicle. But for whatever reason, it's not the traffic that's bothering me. It's the reason that there's traffic. If there's a car accident, I go, hey, Lord, do whatever's out there, find them. But when there's road work, I'm like, somebody set this up. This was orchestrated, and that's what gets me a little. It's not that there's cars in front of me. It's not that we're kind of sitting in a single file and we're waiting to get in there. It's that somebody made this happen, and I don't like it, and no one else does either. And so I try to be courteous. I try to relax the mind. Okay, I go, well, you know what? You got through all the caulking. You've already carried a washer. You've already ruined other people's day by bumping into the walls. You know, you've already had diarrhea. It can't get any worse. Just breathe. And I'm letting people in. And I think that's a big problem too, is that, you know, the more aggressive you get as a driver and the more impatient you go and you think, man, I'm the only one that hates it and no one's getting over. And then everyone just freaking, what should I do? And no one's getting over. So I go 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, you know, and I think that should allow it to flow a little bit better. But the point is, it's garbage. And these roads, they're never any better. You know, the road was just fine and they just redid it and it was shut down for like there's a variety of highways, and they just keep going over and over and over. And what's the big deal? And the worst part is, man, is that I'm waiting like an hour plus for a short drive, and I'm not going anywhere special. You know, there shouldn't be this kind of traffic in Ohio, like this kind of wait. That's West Coast. That's LA stuff. You know, you wait to go to the beach. Look at the destination. We're all filing. We're all trying to get there. Ohio is like just traveling a giant traffic circle where every step is a Dollar General. All right. I just waited all this time just to get to another parking lot. And that's hard. And that hurts. And I get it, you know, that there's a whole infrastructure bill and I get the money and they got to use it somehow. But, you know, give the money, just give them the money. Just, the roads were fine. Don't even work on them, you know. And people complain, or they think that they're complaining. Well, what about the taxes? These were tax dollars. Dude, I will give you more money. I would pay you a $20 fine if we could have just an express lane on the side. Hey, go ahead. Come on. We keep this one open. I'd be fine. I'd be fine to spend the money, you know. Well, it makes more jobs. I think everybody would be fine. Just give them. Just, what are you going to do? I think that's the reason we don't have flying cars, because, like, well, we haven't cracked the code on how we're going to get road work up there, you know? Because, like, well, how would we ever inconvenience people if there was no roads? Just going to hack away at these cumulonimbus. What's the other one, dude? I wish I knew my clouds better. It's not... Is it just Stratus? Oh, boy. Man, I haven't been in school in a while. Stratus. Is it Stratus? Stratus clouds. Okay. Hey, man. I'm smart. Yes. Thank the Lord, dude. You ever worry you're not smart? And then you Google search it and it turns out you're a genius? You know, second grade stuff. I hope you're proud of me, Mom. But it's been pretty inconvenient. I think that's the gist so far, is that there's been a lot of inconvenience. It's still toasty in here. It's not as bad, except for when I turn off a lot of the stuff to record, then it gets especially warm. And I don't really know what to say about that, except I wish there was some sort of like fire, you know, when you can breathe in cold air and you get that kind of steam. I wish you could do that in the heat and there was some sort of reaction. Wouldn't that be nice, dude? I would love to breathe fire just once. I always think, dude, it's like a double wanna burp, you know? You ever have a wanna burp where your body's like, wouldn't this be great? And like, hey, we're professionals now, okay? We already talked about diarrhea. Now we got to hold everything back in. But do you see a lot of these like little shows and street fairs and stuff like that? People are always breathing fire. And I want to do it so bad, but I think, I'm not an expert, but I think you put the gasoline in your mouth and you spit it over. But kind of like when you're pouring gasoline on a fire, the fire can kind of travel up the stream of gasoline back into your hand. I mean, you have to spit it out really quick, right? Or else it catches all of it. Is that not how it works? I have no idea. Should have ended with the clouds thing, man. Should have stuck with the Stratus. I don't know fire, okay? He only knows rain. So anyways, guys, what else is going on? That's really been my whole week. I'm so excited for it to calm down a little bit because I just want to get back. I want more awkward moments, I just want to converse. I want to step in it, put my foot in my mouth, not literally, but I would like to just, you gotta get out and you gotta experience life, good or bad. Hey, you pregnant? You're like, no, I'm just an overweight man. I would, not just insult people. That sounds like that's all I want to do, which I'm not opposed to, but I want to accidentally do it. I don't mind being insulted, but I just don't have enough time. I don't have enough time to insult people. I don't have enough time to be insulted. I don't have enough time for an awkward moment, but I should by the time that this episode comes out. Everything should be all crystal clear, and we should be wrapping things up together. Is there anything else around? Not much, dude. Not much. I think I had a bit about DoorDash, but I forgot it. That sucks. You ever have something come to your mind? You're like, I'm going to tell this. I'm going to tell this to you about it later. And then it's gone. That happens sometimes where I'm going to hang out with somebody. I'm like, that's a good joke. I'm going to remember. They would love that. They would love that. And then like 2 days later, taking a bath. I don't take baths, but it sounded funnier to me. Dang it, he checked himself again. Guys, I was taking a bath, I promise. But what was I saying? Yeah, that happens all the time where I always prepare. I'm such a preparer, and I'm such a good person. I tailor jokes specifically to the people I'm going to spend time with. And they're like, well, that was nice off the cuff. And I go, if only you knew. And now you do. But I don't actually get to it, so now you don't. Yeah, that's pretty much everything that's gone on with me. In terms of the world, yeah, there's all kinds of crap, I guess. I don't even know. It's so hard to follow. There's too much, dude. I will say that people are... or at least like right-wing people, I think, are mad at Trump now. There's something about the Epstein stuff. And I always think it's good for a little right-wing, a little left-wing. Everybody needs to be mad at someone. And at some point, you can't just have a bunch of, we're winning. We told you so. We told you so. Like, you need to have a little bit of, it's got to be a volley. It's got to be a back and forth, all right? The country's very split, so you need to have equal unrest. You need both people going, this sucks, ha ha, ha ha, we win, no, we win, if you're gonna fight, it can't be, a one-sided battle. So I don't actually know the extent of whatever's going on, but it's good to hear that it's happening. And that's my take, dude. It's like a supreme fence sitter, except it's not that I want everybody to like me, it's that I want everybody to fail. So that's cool, dude. Happy for whatever's going on. I'm not plugged in enough. I'll tell you what I am plugged in. Okay, I might not know everything about politics, but when there's something Looney Tunes related, I got my freaking, what is it? It's not nose. Is nose to the grindstone? Face to the grindstone? Hand, feet to the fire? I've got my finger on the pulse. Genius brings it. Ha la 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 la. Ha la la la. Ha la 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 la. What was I saying? By the way, it's 1 a.m. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it is late. Yes, Looney Tunes. So, in the midst of everything else that's going on, people are like, serious. There was a little title where I guess, so somebody had painted a freaking, I'll put the photo up, but somebody had painted a tunnel and a road going through a wall as a mural. And somebody drove into it, and they're trying to find the guy, and they're saying it's vandalism, and it's a crime, and it's all that. And I gotta say, I don't, as long as no one got hurt, okay, that's all good. I don't feel bad. I think it is 1000% hilarious, only because it wasn't a road. It was like some sort of parking garage or something. There wasn't a bridge there. And for you to just see that, and there's no road. How you're like, oh, surely there's a 500-yard tunnel. I think more than anything, it's like a sobriety test. Okay, is that you got road runnered just straight up? Well, it's like a cartoon bridge. You fell for it. I don't know if there was any sort of follow-up, but you have to be somewhat drunk to actually see that and run into it. Actually, okay, I am going to check myself here because I said Roadrunner. Technically, Wile E. Coyote is the one that paints it, but then Roadrunner freaking meep, he actually ends up somehow running through it, and then Wile E. follows, crashes. But anyways, I think that was hilarious, dude. I love that. I think there should be more of it. There's no way, like, even in the dead of night, it's so, I don't know. I have no idea what to say about it. I think everybody's on the same side of the Grand Painter. It's a lovely mural, by the way, but I don't even think they're looking for the guy for the sake of the damages. I think even the cops found it amusing, but they're like, but you can't, that was nice brick, like you can't paint on that. And they weren't going that fast, so everything's cool. It's only silly. Trust me, it's okay to laugh. Anything else? Not really. I did see there was a cool, like, not necessarily a study. It was just some sort of YouTuber or streamer. His dad had a big thing. I hate video games. Video games aren't cool. They're not awesome. And he challenged his dad to play Dark Souls, which is one of the hardest video games. I've never played it. Or I've maybe played a little bit of it. I've never beaten it. But it's one of the hardest games, and it's a big, huge, grandiose kind of world, and people love it. It has a huge following. And he challenged his dad, much like I was saying, my dad. Dan goes, oh, how could you? I bet you can. He challenged his dad to beat it, and his dad begrudgingly went along, and I think he played it on stream, and he beat the whole game. And he had his wife there, and it was like this big, like, celebratory moment. He was like, it like changed my life, and it changed my view, and it changed my perspective on things. And it's so cool to see, dude, because I think there's still this, like, lasting, I think anybody, like, over the age of maybe 35 or 40, like, if you were, because video games didn't become this much of an art form until maybe, I want to say, like, 2005, 2006, like this fun and immersive storytelling. I mean, how many shows and movies and HBO, like, they're winning awards that are based on video games, is that it's still kind of written off. I think that there are some parents out there, like, especially the older that you go, that you didn't grow up with, that you're like, oh, my kid's still playing Pong, or, I don't know what they think, but it's cool to kind of, well, one, trick somebody or force them into it, and then they go, well, this is like a viable, like, this is like a real kind of art and creative experience, and it's hard. I think a lot of people still write it off, and it's the same way that I've felt about books. Admittedly, I haven't read since I got out of school. I mean, I hadn't until recently. I started reading more. Like, man, I'm missing out on so many stories because you wait for them to come onto screen. And it's just, I feel like there's so many people that miss out. Probably less. All right. I think there's less people not playing video games than there are people not reading at this point. I think there's a lot more not readers. So together, I think we should all be experiencing more stories, is what I'm trying to say. And the reason that isn't true, but I'm just trying to circle back, is that, actually, no, there is no reason. But I was talking about video games, and I was circling back. The reason I want to stay on video games is that the Donkey Kong game also just came out, dude. I'm so stoked, man. I love Donkey Kong. I don't know if this is like, admittedly, not all games are crazy stories and like Oscar-winning performances. There are plenty, but I was like, and this is amazing, it's artistic, and it's beautiful, and people like bow, and they're throwing roses at the screen, and XYZ, and they're playing the now check out Donkey Kong on Nintendo. And I'm so stoked for it. I need somebody to either buy me a new Switch 2, because they wanted to make a new one, or convince me not to, because I feel my wallet drawing heavy. It's calling to me like the Green Goblin mask. I want it so bad. I love Donkey Kong. All I can hear is okay, and I'm so excited, dude. Donkey Kong is just a good experience. It's a good game, and you know what? Actually, I take it back. Who am I to say that it's not an artistic, freaking brilliant mode? Everybody, go play Donkey Kong. If I'm wrong, sorry, but I think we need. much like the Looney Tunes when I was pushing heavy for that, when I was in theaters, dude, more people need to go play Donkey Kong. Because this is the first DK or 3D DK since 98, 99, something like that. So go play that, give it a rave review, come back to me, tell me if it was a beautiful experience, and if not, well, shut up, because I'm getting it anyway, and give me your Switch. Let's go! So anyways, guys, pretty late in the night. I think that's pretty much all. I just spent the last 10 minutes talking about not much, but you know what? It was relevant to me because, well, that's what I'm thinking about. Yeah, very, very, very cool. Is there any, dude, it's like that one thing, whatever that DoorDash piece. And when I say, is there anything else I wanted to talk about? There is always one specific thing that I did want to talk about. And I'm trying to remember what it is. And I can't remember it. I'm going, well, it's like a default phrase. When I say that, rest assured, man, you are on hold. All right. Is there anything else I want to talk about? I think that's pretty much all I want. Is there, I'm just throwing letters out there, and they just happen to fall in the same pattern every single time. Boom, 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 boom. That's hold music for you. I have perfect pitch. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Full Circus. I love you. I appreciate you. I guess we'll know in the next episode whether or not they've been pre-recorded, if they've been big batched, or if we've just been still riding and flying by the seat of our pants, whether or not we're wearing them, and I'll never tell. So guys, thank you so much. I will see you in the next one. I love you. Get me some Donkey Kong. Okay.